My professional career in the music business began in 1989 when I accepted a position as a part-time associate producer at Slate Street Studios in Morriston, Swansea. This led me to becoming a guitar tutor at Slate Street and became my first professional undertaking as a tutor. My time at Slate Street proved to be invaluable in a multitude of different ways. Initially, much of my time was spent working with the analog multi-track tape recording facility. This exposed me to many different critical aspects of the recording process and also allowed me access to the computer-based sequencing technology, which was somewhat cutting edge back in the day. This, coupled with the writing and production and arrangement elements, would have considerable impact in the future. My time as a guitar tutor at Slate Street also served to pave the way for the career I would make for myself in the years to come. I continued in Slate Street for a number of years, until 1984 when Mark Elton, the studio head, myself and a mutual friend, Clive Humphreys, embarked upon a live acoustic performance project. This trio lasted until early 1995 and became a duo with Mark's departure. Clive and I carried on as an acoustic duo until later in 1995, and with his departure I found myself pursuing a solo live performance career. For the next 4 years I performed as a solo artist across South and Mid Wales. In 1999, a chance encounter with an old acquaintance, Spiv, led to the formation of the first of a number of duos and subsequent larger projects. With Spiv I was one half of Cock and Bull, a well-named musical comedy partnership. A short time later I met Julie Jackson, with whom I would form the Ginger Nuts. Spiv and I carried on for 5 unforgettable years until failing health forced his retirement. Julie Jackson and I carried on as the Ginger Nuts, and in the interim I began teaching again via Spider Music, a Gorsinen-based musical instrument retailer. I also undertook a number of one-off duo projects, ostensibly with my friend Jonathan Lewis, where we performed as Casual Arrangement, and my friend Lorraine King, with whom we performed as High and Dry. In 2001, I undertook a part-time lecturing position for Swansea College, delivering outreach to adults with severe learning difficulties. In the interim, I continued to regularly perform in one of a number of ensembles, and in 2003, Lorraine King, Jonathan Lewis and myself were involved in a number of one-off band gigs, supplemented by a drummer and a keyboard player. This ensemble would be the foundation for a much more significant project a few years later. At this time I ended my tenure with Swansea College and Spider Music and moved my music tuition infrastructure to my home. Julie Jackson and I continued to perform as the Ginger Nuts, and in 2006 with Lorraine King and Jonathan Lewis we formed LA Connections, a 7-piece tribute theatre band. Shortly after, at the end of 6, I accepted a position with the Cyrenians charity in Swansea as the music tutor in Dragon Arts and Learning. In 2008, LA Connections reformed and expanded and became the Californians. This ensemble proved to be a substantial success and performed in a number of theatres in England and Wales. As a consequence, Lorraine and I made the first of 2 appearances on BBC Radio Wales, and I was fortunate enough to have 2 of my original songs performed live with Lorraine and Julie. The Californians dissolved in 2009, by which time I had begun teaching in Cadno Music, Llanelli, and performing with another old acquaintance, Di Rees. We turned our acoustic duo into a 4-piece band with the addition of Kerry Morris on bass and Stuart Halliday on drums. With this lineup we debuted as The Osbournes in early 2009. In 2010 I accepted a contracted position with Dragon Arts and Learning and began the process of assembling an in-house band. I also began delivering NOCN accredited units and continue to do so to date. The Osbornes went through a variety of lineup changes during 2010, and by that time I had already moved my tuition business completely to Cadno Music. By the end of 2010, the Dragonarts house band, self-named Unhinged, had developed a foundation that would be expanded upon and eventually lead in 2011 to a series of successful live performances. A number of smaller ensembles have ensued as a consequence and spin-off of this endeavour, although the core members of Unhinged remain at Dragonarts and Learning as mentors. Whilst my work with Cadno Music continued throughout 2011-2012 and is ongoing to date, the Osbornes decided to go their separate ways in 2012. I subsequently formed another performance unit named The Distributors, which continues to play in pubs and clubs most weekends. I also recently completed a PTLLS course for Dragonarts and Learning and have undertaken a foundation degree in music industry and entrepreneurship at the University of Glamorgan, the Atrium, Cardiff. Over the last 25 years, as a working professional musician, I have learned many things about the business I'm in, and I continue to do so. As a performer, I have learned the wisdom of preparation and rehearsal. Experience has taught me the value of awareness of potential problems and the steps to take in the eventuality of such problems arising. As a tutor, I have been challenged in a broad variety of ways, from group workshops to one-to-one sessions with a broad and diverse range of clients. From these experiences, I have learned the virtue of proper preparation and approach. Again, experience has taught me that the right approach to any given situation stands the best chance of yielding the optimal result. In closing, the last 25 years have taught me to remain focused, flexible, to adapt to changing circumstances, and to be aware, and not to lose sight of the goal, which is, as the poet Tennyson once wrote, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield.